Hey quizzers, are you ready to find out how many embarrassing moments you've had? Let's play together in this fun Never Have I Ever
Silly Moments Edition.
Only here on the Genius Quiz channel. And remember, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our super fun challenges. Never have I ever laughed so hard that the drink came out my nose. Never have I ever worn a shirt inside out and only noticed at the end of the day. Never have I ever accidentally gotten into the wrong car. Never have I ever tried a magic trick and messed it up in front of someone. Never have I ever taken food from a stranger's plate thinking it was my friend's. Never have I ever walked into a room and completely forgot what I was going to do there. Never have I ever danced really weird thinking no one was watching. Never have I ever tried to use the excuse the dog ate my homework. Never have I ever sung a song loudly and then realized the lyrics were all wrong. Never have I ever eaten the last piece of something and said it wasn't me. Never have I ever sent a message to the wrong person and died of embarrassment. Never have I ever fallen asleep in a public place by accident. Never have I ever worn clothes that were too tight and said they were comfortable. Never have I ever waved at a mannequin thinking it was a person. Never have I ever forgotten the name of someone I just met. Never have I ever fallen in a public place and pretended I was tying my shoes. Never have I ever tried to imitate someone and got caught. Never have I ever walked into someone's house and said, "Come in." Never have I ever tried to jump a fence and got stuck. Never have I ever made up a crazy story to avoid going to an appointment. Never have I ever put a lollipop in the fridge to finish it later. Never have I ever danced with a broom pretending it was a microphone. Never have I ever pretended not to be home so I wouldn't have to answer the door. Never have I ever used my hand as a scoop to eat. Never have I ever lost something right in front of my nose and looked for it for hours. Never have I ever pretended to be a famous singer for my family. Never have I ever used a funny voice to talk to pets. Never have I ever had a fight with an object. Never have I ever pretended to be on a phone call to avoid talking to someone. Never have I ever held back laughter in a serious moment and made it worse. Never have I ever tried to take hidden chocolate from my parents. Never have I ever pretended not to be hungry so I didn't have to stop playing to eat. Never have I ever laughed at a joke I didn't get just so I wouldn't be the only one. Never have I ever pretended my phone rang to get out of a boring conversation. Never have I ever mixed shampoo and conditioner just to see what would happen. Never have I ever tried juggling random objects and broke something. Never have I ever pretended I knew what I was doing in a game, but I was totally lost. Never have I ever forgotten my own name for a second because I was nervous. Never have I ever had an annoying song stuck in my head for days. Never have I ever farted while straining to pick something up. Never have I ever worn the same clothes for a week. Never have I ever made up an excuse to avoid lending my stuff. Never have I ever put on headphones just to avoid talking to people. Never have I ever gone to bed without brushing my teeth more than 3 times. Never have I ever jumped in a puddle on the street and got totally soaked. Now, one last challenge. Tell us in the comments if you had more I have or never have I ever. And remember, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our super fun challenges.